Hey everybody, Martin Williams here. And what we're trying to do is put you in the position so that you can control your own life. It's the most important thing you could do, right? So we're asking this question, what can you do really? I mean, at the end of the day, what can you do really, right? We've talked a little bit about responsibility for yourself. We talked a little bit about controlling yourself and self-discipline. But today, I want to talk to you about discover yourself. The only thing you can really do is discover who you are. When you pour your life into discovering who you are, it changes everything. It changes everything about life. It changes everything about everything around you. It changes everything about your outcome. So here are some questions. This is what I'm getting at right here. So who are you really? If you're taking responsibility for your life, if you're understanding how important you are to the world, if you realizing you're not exempt from this, if you begin to realize, I got to focus on what I can really do, right? Because I have the ability to respond to this, right? So what is that? Questions like, who are you? You can write these down. Who am I? Why am I here? Why was I born when I was born? Why was I born in this body I was born in? Why was I born in this particular neighborhood, culture, state, country? Where am I going? What does my destiny look like? How am I supposed to respond to this world? How do I create outcomes for myself? Well, that is discovery of self. The number one person you should know in and out is you. You may not know your spouse like that. You may not know your business partners like that. You may not even know your children like that, your mom or your dad or the rest of your family. But you got to know you. This is the process of self-discovery. Answering those questions that are inside, they're not outside. Just a bit ago, one of my friends was trying to discover who he was. He was going to upgrade his scope on media. He was going to make this shift in life, and he wanted to figure out how to tell his story, right? So he was invited into this process. It was going to cost a little bit of money. It would cost a little bit of time. But he was invited into this process where some professionals were helping him figure out what his story was, right? And the more and more his story began to develop using these professionals, the more and more he felt like he was wasting his time. And the investment of money wasn't the right thing. So he decided to stop that process. I wanted to know why, because I just think he's real sharp. I think he's got a great destiny, and his pivot is going to be amazing to me. And he said, I figured out that everybody was interviewing people, and they were telling this company who they see me as, what I'd done in their life, what I brought to their life, how I helped them, but he said it was all about my past, and it was all about somebody I realized, and it took him 20 years to realize that who people were describing him as wasn't really who he was. Wasn't even who he really wanted to be. Wasn't even really what he wanted his next to look like. It wasn't him. So he decided to take the long route. And the long route to him was, I'm going to spend time with myself. I'm going to spend time studying me. I'm going to try to figure out who I am. Because that person that they loved, that was a blessing to them, and he said, I'm grateful that I was a blessing to them, grateful that I was able to help some people, but they kept describing a person that I'm not. It's not the story I want to tell. It's not who I want to become. It's not this portrayal of me that I want to bring into this next level. So I helped him. So who are you? Right? Discover yourself. How do you discover yourself? What does it mean to discover yourself? It means asking the right questions to get the right answers. Asking the wrong questions never lead to the correct answers. You got to ask the right ones of yourself. Who am I? Why am I here? What can I do? What does the end look like for me? Where am I going? Who am I responding? Those questions you get to discover yourself, right? So what can you do? Here's the bottom line. Everybody keeps telling you that you can be who you want. You can't. You can't be who you want. You can do anything you want to do. You cannot do anything you want to do. You can't be anyone you want to be. You can only be the person you were designed to be. You can only accomplish what you were sent here to accomplish. You can only discover what you're supposed to discover. This thing, and then they'll bring up examples, right? They'll bring up examples. And because I studied sports and worked in sports for a long time, they'll bring up a Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy Bogues can dunk the ball. I said, how many Muggsy Bogues are in the NBA, right? How many 5'7" guys are? No, that's almost like a freak of nature in sports. That does not happen. It does not happen. It does not happen. It does not happen, right? Those are irregularities. Those are miracles. Your life's not supposed to be a miracle. You can't be who you're not. Stop wasting time, energy, and everybody else is looking at you saying, when is she going to finally realize she's not that? He's not that. So what can you really do? You won't find the answer to that until you find out who you are, why you're here, what's the calling on your life, what's your destiny, what's the whole purpose. And you better get this right before you have children. Because you're going to pass off this ignorance to your children, this unknowingness. I just made up a word. You're going to pass off this you don't know to your children. They got to become comfortable in themselves. Who is Martin? Who is Bob? Who is Julie? What can you do? What is your potential? You can work on making it from the 4 million kids who play football to that 10 who are going to make it into the NFL that year. You can do that all you want, but why wouldn't you pick something that's you? In order to pick something that's you, you've got to know who you are. Study you. Study your dreams. Study your history. Study your mental makeup. Study your physical makeup. Study your desires. Study the stuff that's penetrating you from everywhere. Everywhere. When you go to bed, there are thoughts that come into your head. You're dreaming about certain things. The books that you read, the movies you like to watch, in all that stuff you like is you. In all those things you enjoy is the real you. Inside all those things you're attracted to, the places you want to live, the place you go on vacation, the shows you watch, the movies you go to the theater, the stuff on social media, that it points to who you are. Pick who you are, not what you hope to be. Accept yourself, become very comfortable at being you. You don't have to explain it to anybody. As Dr. Monroe said years ago, he said, when I'm gone, you'll get it. He said, eventually they'll come to the idea of knowing who you are. Because you know who you are. You have to know who you are, or none of us will ever know. I love this story. It's told in many dialects and from many points of view, but it's the story of the angry things at your funeral. This story of the disappointed things at your funeral. People don't understand that when people are at funerals and they're crying, they're not really crying for you. They're crying for themselves. They're thinking in their heads, what am I supposed to get done? Am I on the right track? My friend there, my mother, their bodies are laying there in that box, but they're gone. They're finished. They don't have another chance. They're done, right? Life for them is over. In that dimension, it's over. They're going to another dimension where they'll live forever, because they will. Every human being will live forever, but they won't live forever in this dimension that we're in right now, right? I mean, my mom and my dad who have gone on, they're not listening to this saying, "Ooh, that's important. I'm learning something." No, they know everything right now, right? They don't need to learn from us. Am I making sense to you? When you are at a funeral, can you imagine what's standing around the coffin? The books that were never written, the money that was never made, the businesses that were never started, the films that were never filmed, the photos that were never taken, the houses that were never built. All these things were assigned to you. They were things you were supposed to get done in your time here. But they didn't get done. So now they go to the grave with you. They go to the hereafter with you because no one can write your books. 1 million people can have a camera taking a picture of the same subject, but every picture is going to look different because it's going to come from the filter of the person holding the camera. That's you. Maybe insignificant to everyone else, but it's all you can do. You can't do it. You can't do anything else except what you're here to do. So many distractions, so much happening around you, so many voices in your head, so many people trying to influence you. A person trying to influence you is a person who has no influence of their own. And they're trying to use your influence to do something they don't even know what to do. They want you to be drawn to them and use your attention on them. Not just people, things. Things are calling you. Fixing the lawnmower. Pay somebody $30 an hour to cut your lawn. Use that hour to think. Pick your time so that you can discover. While they're mowing your lawn, go in someplace and meditate. Martin, who are you? What's your dream? What kind of things make sense to you? What would you like to discover? What are your desires? That's how you spend your time. Well, that's wasted time. I'm telling you, those moments create millions. Those moments of focusing on you and discovering you, now you got a family. Do the same with them. Sit down once a week and ask your kids, what are you thinking? Who are you? What do you like? Don't be saying to your kids, you got to go and get a job. So there's a kid out there right now making at least $1 million a month just selling images in the metaverse. Makes no sense to me, right? That's all he's doing is just selling images in the metaverse. It's like, but he was allowed to think in his parents' home. So now in high school, he's made his parents and his whole family millionaires just because he could think. He could just say, I like this. This makes sense to me, right? And he was encouraged by his family, right? This is what I'm saying, that the people around you need permission to discover themselves. And they get that when you discover yourself. I hope that makes sense. Don't let this happen at your funeral where all this stuff you were supposed to experience, do, have, go, possess. You're standing around saying, now it's over for us too, right? These concepts, right? These concepts can be a little bit strong, and maybe you agree with them, maybe you don't agree with them. Not really my decision. That's your decision, right? But prove me wrong. Study yourself and see if life changes in 7 days as you begin to study you, discover, uncover yourself, and just see yourself for who you are and see what happens. That's a concept I just believe you should just take that concept in and just receive it as a concept that will change your life. And let's see what happens. I'm Martin Williams, and you know what I really want is to help people control their own life. Later.